Hi, I'm Ben Chung, a biochemist turned software engineer now working at a large tech company. Some of you might know me as the author of the Ultimate Guide to the UBC BCS Second Degree Program, also known as the Bachelor of Computer Science program offered by the University of British Columbia. Today we are going to go over important information and advice for new Bachelor of Computer Science students at the University of British Columbia. We won't be going over admissions or specific application questions or any information pertaining to the admission process today. It will be mostly on course planning, bridging modules, advice for internship, co-op, etc. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Alright, so the first thing that new students would get after they get admitted to the UBC BCS program would be a welcome email. The welcome email contains a link to the welcome notes, which contains everything pretty much about the program. So you need a UBC account to sign in. It contains a wealth of information. So you can just go to this web link here, which will be usually also linked to you in the welcome email. So this is what it looks like. It's this massive welcome note to BCS students. It covers pretty much everything. New BCSers have to send their first year plan to the BCS director. Details in this link here. There's a bunch of course planning information with a lot of language and details about your bridging module, prerequisites, upper level courses, registration, exemptions. So you can replace the STCM. So this is the English exemption. You could have the first year English exemption and have it through the exemption exam, the CPSC 110 exemption and challenge exam, and then you have other exemptions that you can get as well as facts and basically tips on what you can use for exemption replacements, courses to avoid, co-op, and then links to the UBC BCS community where you can join the Discord, join the Facebook group, etc. So let's go down here. The first thing I recommend new students to do is join the Piazza group. A lot of communication with from the director occurs in this Piazza group. The Facebook group you can join as well, which is the larger group containing alumni like me and other cohorts. Everyone pretty much joins it. And then the BCS Discord server, you like Discord. And then finally, the executive team for your cohort will create a new one, brand new Facebook group for you. So it'll be 2024 for this upcoming cohorts year. Alright, so the first thing you should do is make sure you read this really thoroughly. Make sure you read everything here. Make sure you don't miss anything, and then start planning your bridging module and draft out a plan for your first year to send to your UBC BCS director. Cool, and next, really important, while you're planning, you should definitely review the advising checklist. So this is the official guidance and PDF provided by the department for UBC BCS students. Unfortunately, we as UBC BCS students do not have access to the degree planning tool offered by UBC officially. So the official guidance is this PDF. So this is what it looks like. It's this massive PDF, one page that you will just fill out. You go through it, and then you can share this with your advisor, the UBC BCS director, and see if your course plan aligns or if you're ready to graduate or whatever. You'll always be referring to this PDF. So you can see, your English requirements, your 110, your core CPSC courses, your potential exemptions you could get, your core CS courses here, 2 upper year 300, 2 upper year 400s, and then your bridging module for 5 courses that form the coherent whole of your bridging of a theme. Alright, so yeah, so if you don't want to use planning in the PDF, a few friends of mine and I have built a tool for you called UBC Course Explorer. So you can go to ubcexplorer.io/BCS right here, ubcexplorer.io/BCS. Links will be in the description, and you can just log in, and then you'll be greeted with this course selector where you can search the course. For example, CPSC, 110. They have 110 here. And you can search it, and then you can just add to your course, whatever, and then you can drag and drop between modules. And then, yeah, so you can plan your degree here. fun stuff, and then you can just track it with this software instead, with this website instead of using PDF. If you don't really trust this website, then you can always go to this template I made, which is just a Google Doc version of the advising checklist, where you can just fill out whatever, just make a copy, file, make a copy, edit it, whatever, and then share it with your UBC BCS director. Alright, we'll go over the courses and term breakdown now. The academic journey in the UBC BCS program is both challenging and rewarding. It kicks off with some foundational courses in computer science, followed by a more specialized topic. So here we have the academic schedule provided to you by the official website. There's a sampler schedule. It recommends students to take the first level CPSC 110 course by itself in the first semester, and then take CPSC 121 and 210 in the second semester. The reason for doing this is because 110 and 121 can be taken together, but they're pretty heavy together. They both require a lot of studying, a lot of like new domains of knowledge if you never like really programmed that kind of stuff before, and it also has many pretty heavy assignments. Studying for midterms are definitely like, there are a lot of practice and a lot of homework that you need to do for both, so that is pretty demanding workload. So I highly recommend not doing them both together. If you've maybe like taken a break from school or academics or university, or taking courses for a while, maybe you work in industry for a little bit, you need some time to adjust in your first semester to get back into the groove of things, that's when I would recommend you to take them separately. Otherwise, if you're ready, you think you can handle the workload, then by all means, definitely take 110 and 121 together. I've taken both of them together. I felt that it was definitely pretty heavy workload. It was a lot of studying, and then it really depends on how well you are with time management, and how well you are and how familiar you are with the concepts, and how fast you can learn, or how much hours you're willing to put into it. So make sure that if you do take it, make sure that you are prepared for it. Alright, so the next section will be exemptions. So how do you go about receiving exemptions? So after accepting your offer to your admission, whatever, like they give you an offer, like, hey, do you want, congrats, you got in, or you accepted the offer, or you're coming to the program, you accept it, then before your registration date, the UBC BCS admin will email you a list of like the exemptions you qualify for. So if you feel that your courses you have taken in the past from previous degrees are relevant and can be used to exempt you from acceptable courses, you can email them to approve the exemption. So you can check the exemptions by going to, do I have it here? I don't have it here, but going to the welcome notes again and checking the exemption section. But from a high level, you can pretty much get exempted from first year English. You can get exempted from 110 only if you take the CPSC 110 challenge exam. You can get exempted by 180 you can get exempted from Math 180 or Stat 203 or a communication requirement here. So those are pretty much all the ones you can get exempted for. So alright, so let's go over let's go over what happens when you want to get the English 100 level exemption. So if you want to do the English 100 level exemption, you can write the English exemption exam. So if you follow this link, go to this first year English page, you just go to the English challenge exam right here. So all the information is here on a page linked. I think it's also linked in the welcome notes. So what this does is it's a free test, no fee. But other profits, you have to basically, let's see, so it's free, but you'll have to email the English department to take it. There are two tests, two parts to the test. The first one is an essay question, requires the candidate to write a brief prose passage, approximately 500 words, and this is like an essay that responds to one of the several suggested topics. And then the second essay question will be 1 hour, which requires the writer to compose an analysis of a poem, usually 25 lines, explain the relationship between the form, meaning, like symbolism, similes, metaphors, that kind of stuff. So usually, depending on like what any English courses you've taken in the past, you can probably like only do one of the two or one of them, but if you haven't taken any English course before, most likely you just take both of them. But I highly recommend you take this because you can get exempted from that English first level, English 100 level English, and be able to replace it with anything else. If we go back to the advising checklist, that's this one. So you're able to just like replace that with anything you want essentially. So that would be awesome, and you could like use it to explore anything, another course or any other interests you might have, rather than be forced to take the 100 level English here. Cool. So what else can you get exempted from? You can also get exempted from the upper level communication requirement. So that would be this one. So usually it's like STM, XX or something. So for me, I got this exempted because I wrote a thesis in my undergrad. You just have to email the UBC BCS director and tell them like, oh, I qualify for this exemption or this exemption because of reasoning. So, or whatever reason you have. And then if they approve it, great. If they don't, then you have to take it. Alright, the most important question of all would be CPSC 110. Do I challenge? Let me see if I can find it. Alright, yeah, here we are. Should I challenge the CPSC 110 exam? So this is a huge question that a lot of people ask. So CPSC 110 is in the example schedule and pretty much every other schedule. It's typically the first computer science course that you'll take as a UBC BCS student. It is the bottleneck for everything else. The prerequisite chain is that you cannot take 210 unless you cannot take any of these unless you have 110 essentially done. So if we just check out the prerequisite chain of this CPSC 210 using our fun course explorer. Yeah, so you have to take 110 right here. So before you can take 210, and then same with I think 313, any like 200 level course you pretty much can't take without. So this one you need 121 and 210. So if we feel the bottleneck, you're actually going to be bottlenecked by 110, and then you can take 210, and then you can take the rest of the 200 level courses like 213, etc. So I personally highly recommend you take this challenge exam because it enables you to get rid of this bottleneck, replace it with something else, and be able to hit the 121, 110 from here, ESAP. And so instead of term 2, you take them both in term 1. So that way you won't have to like waste a semester. It's not wasting, but you know, you'll be bottlenecked by having to take 110 or 110, 121, and then take 210 in its own semester. So the only issue with taking it is that it does require some pretty heavy preparation. I've heard from the past few semesters, past few cohorts, that the challenge exam did increase in difficulty. So you will have to study probably 2 to 4 months if you have little to no coding experiences. Luckily, the course is online, so you can study the course, but you will have to put the time and effort to do so. All right, so how do we actually how do we actually be able to challenge and prepare for a challenge exam? So all the information should be like right here in this. Oh, I guess that's a broken link. So here, challenge exam info. So all the information here, what's the challenge exam, what are eligibility requirements, how to register, all the fun stuff, and you go to this info page. You have all the information. So let me go back here. Here you can go and look at the EDX system, the programming design courses. You can go basically find and enroll for free all the courses, do all the exercises, and then if you think you're ready, then you can go and apply for the exemption exam and do it in September. I do have one more note on this topic, which is if you do end up challenging, I also highly recommend you take some Java tutorials, or if you don't know any Java or object-oriented programming, take some Java tutorials because 210 is all about Java and object-oriented programming. Depending on the schedule of the challenge exam, if you challenge it successfully, you'll be enrolled in the 210 for the first semester. So you might be behind by like a week. So it will make, by knowing Java already, you'll be pretty smooth to be able to, you know, catch up. If you do not want to challenge the challenge exam, that's okay too. You would just have to take the course in the first semester, either with or without 121. It's a personal choice, depending if you can handle workload or not. So the next section is planning your bridging module. Your bridging module can really affect your experience in the program. It's recommended to take some time to research what set of courses you want to use as a bridging module course. Each of these bridging module courses have to follow and fit under a theme and be approved by the UBC BCS director, so that you'll email them as part of your degree planning. So be sure to get familiar with the prereq chain as well, because for both computer science courses and your bridging modules, you don't take extra courses. Alright, so here is the link to the actual website. So you can just search up, you know, computer science, faculty science course prereq chain. You can sort by computer science or any other department you want. You can see all the prereqs, requirements, and all the fun stuff. So let's search up CPSC 210 right here. So the prerequisite is one of 110, 107. So you can already go to the prereq chain of 110. You have to take before you can take 210, and 213 you can't take until you take 210 and 121, and 221 you can't take until you take 210 or one of these. So that's kind of annoying. So luckily for you, there are so many tools built. One notable tool is UBC Explorer. So you just search ubcexplorer.io, link in the description. Just type in the course code and you can see all the information, prereq course, dependent course, all the fun stuff. So 213 here, and then 210. You can see, you know, all of 213 to 21. So you can just use this for a quick search of, you know, quick check of what kind of prerequisites you need. And in this case, if you want to do a COGS bridging module or something like that, you can see COGS 200 is like no prereq, and then COGS 300 has COGS 200 prereq and 3 credit CPSC, and so forth. Cool. So here are some bridging modules that some fellow BCSers have taken. So COGS AI, COGS Psych, COGS Commerce, Econ, Stat, CPEN, lots of different variety of bridging modules. You can just choose one, you can use an existing one, there are plenty. So let's go to the official page for the bridging module offered by the official website. So once again, bridging module is 15 credits, so 5 courses of 300 and above, so it has to be 300, so 3rd year or 4th year courses. Its goal is to enable students to explore connections between computer science and another discipline, so somehow think of a theme that encapsulates both your computer science degree and whatever field you're trying to explore or whatever topic, and then try to link them all together and get approved by the UBC BCS director. So you design your own, and then you can just consult. And then here they recommend the COGS and AI rope, so COGS 300, 303, 401, and Psych, and then some CPSC 322. Or you get 312 or 422. So this is just one. Another one with Commerce, which is these commerce courses. Stat, plenty of bridging modules. I highly recommend, you know, playing around with your bridging module, or, you know, talk to other UBC BCSers, post in the Facebook group or Discord, ask around about what other people are doing, and maybe you can find a bridging module more suitable for you. For reference, here is my bridging module that I got approved. So I did like a COGS Commerce computer science mix, sort of. So I did COGS 300, 303, Poli-Sci 385, and any of 2 of these. So this is exactly the bridging module I sent to the director. So this is the completed one. It took no computer science course here at all. So COGS 300, 303, Poli-Sci, Commerce 398, 329. And then it's for SaaS companies dealing with user behavior and or user analytics. So that was my theme. It got approved, and yeah, I've been using that. I use that bridging module to satisfy that bridging module 5 coherent set of course requirements. So that would fall under that bridging module over there. So the reason why I did this bridging module rather than the COGS AI bridging module, which a lot of people COGS stat or something, machine learning or something more heavy, is because I wanted to increase the amount of free time I had for outside activities, outside of academics, outside the degree, to focus on interview prep, organizing hackathons, organizing workshops, personal projects, to further stand out from my peers in both like competition in the general CS market. Right now it is an economic downturn, so you need a way to stand out to employers, and only doing well in academics is not good enough, because that really doesn't showcase your ability to actually be able to do the work or be a good software engineer outside of academics, or getting good marks or toy projects from academic projects. So how can you differentiate from other degree holders? Doing hackathons, doing outreach, leading workshops, networking, building connections, coffee chats, like numerous things you can be doing, building projects, running startups, participating in a bunch of technical activities. So that's why I picked that COGS commerce module, just to avoid that more heavy rote and be able to focus on other aspects to be able to have the end goal. Okay, so the next part is the scheduling. So ultimately, planning your schedule, your bridging modules, is pretty flexible. You just need to give that initial plan to your director. So here is a snapshot of my journey at BCS. So 3.5 years completion with 4 internships. Started September 2019, graduated April 2023, but I was eligible to graduate November 2022, but I delayed it because I was doing internship at that time. So most of my cohort had the schedule, so they had the 110, 121 together in the first term. It is heavy. Once again, I just want to put that disclaimer out there if you put it together, and then 210 in the second term. This is if they didn't challenge the 110 challenge exam. If they did challenge the 110, then usually they just replace the 110 with 210, and then in their second term they can do 213, 221, or whatever other courses they need. So let's talk about getting your first internship in BCS / the co-op program details. So usually the first co-op or internship is the most hard to get, but let's provide some information about the actual UBC computer science co-op program first that is accessible for BCS students optionally. So after starting BCS, you get an email early in the year to apply to the co-op program. They'll interview you, probably like 5 to 10 minute behavioral, and then let you know the result in January. So you can make sure, they can make sure that you satisfy the minimum grade requirements to get into the program. So here are the requirements to get into the program as from the website. Minimum average of B-, full-time student, minimum credits in your degree, complete 110, and process 121, 210. BCS applicants should be processed complete 110. So usually by end of first semester, January, so by beginning of second semester, you'll hear back from the co-op. So you guys click on this website for the official computer science guidelines for the co-op website, and you can says all the deadlines, all the information, but pretty much you don't have to really worry. So here are the requirements. You don't really have to worry that much about co-op program as a UBC BCS student. All the information will be handed to you directly in around September or October, one of the first 2 months in your when you get accepted to the program and have started school already. Okay, so now next we should talk about the actual co-op timeline. So after you get accepted to the program, assuming you do, so Jan to April, so this is second semester. So after first semester, you'll hear back in around January if you got accepted or not. During this time, January to April, it's where you have to do a bunch of co-op workshops. So here you would have to attend a bunch of co-op workshops, and then you'll apply for jobs. Usually by the time you finish the co-op workshop, you'll probably apply for a job, not in the summer if you haven't challenged 110. If you didn't challenge 110, most BCS students apply for jobs during September, the following September. So say you start 2024 in September, you'll apply in the summer for 2025 September, if that makes sense. No, sorry. Say you start in 2024 September, you will apply for 2025 start date for September internship 4 months. So essentially, do 1 year of your BCS degree September 2024 all the way to September 2025, and then that's September 2025 is when, or August 2025, September 2025 is when you start your internship or co-op. But if you did challenge 110, you're usually able to start even earlier. You can probably start in the summer because you pretty much have finished most of the courses. But ultimately, the timeline is pretty flexible for when you can do your first internship or co-op. But the timeline to actually apply for, depending on the companies, is if you want to apply for summer positions. So say you want to start in May and end August. So for summer, so May to August, 4 months internship. This means that they send applications January, April before. So essentially, almost 4 months before. And then if you want to apply for fall, so September to December, you'll have to apply May, August, before. Your start date September, and then you will have to send applications then. For larger companies, a lot of these actually require you to start their internship pipelines and new grad pipelines pretty early, almost a year early. So you have to apply at least probably 8 months. So postings usually get posted out for the summer. It'll get posted this September prior to the summer of that year, so 8 months before. So you want a summer internship, then you need to apply around August to November when they start posting the job, and then interview November, December, and then that next summer, that's when you can internship with them. I did write a huge article for getting and landing jobs for internships and new grad positions. It's just this link here. It goes over, it's an 18-minute read, goes over all my experiences, how you can target LinkedIn, cold email, everything you need to know. Using this process, I was able to land a bunch of pretty large tech companies like Riot Games, Coinbase, so definitely check it out. And finally, is it hard to get that first internship? Again, I want you to remember that the competition is fierce, so you need a way to stand out. So how can you differentiate yourself from the average computer science student? We are competing with both UBC BCS folks, people with co-ops, people without co-ops, people with diplomas, boot camps. We're competing with everyone, even the people graduated before us. So you need to have a way to differentiate yourself. Start learning some front-end stack. A lot of your differentiation comes from self-learning outside of the program itself. Yes, you'll be learning academic material in class, but you'll also have to do some learning outside the class. So through hackathons, I recommend you learn something like React, pretty hype right now. Do some backend development, know what an API is, know how to use it. Maybe try setting up a database in MongoDB for NoSQL or MySQL for SQL type databases. Learn how to use GitHub and version control, because that's how you'll collaborate. And then methodologies like Agile Scrum. So definitely check that out. You should also be building projects, because you have nothing to show on your resume. You will need to definitely have stuff on your resume, or else how are you going to show the potential employer that you are actually competent at what you do? And lastly, don't be discouraged, because a lot of people have a really tough time finding the first co-op or first internship. Very, very common. But after you get the first one, the next one is much easier. But you have that experience, the work experience on your resume. Next section, I want to talk about student resources. There are so many student resources out there that you need to capitalize on, such as GitHub Student Developer, lots of JetBrains education licenses, Notion for education. We have a bunch of Tech Career Change, Notion, Discord for community helping out. By the way, I'm going to shout out the Discord community again, because if you have questions, this is a community built specifically for anyone looking to do a career change into tech. We do have a UBC channel here, which a lot of UBC BCS alumni and prospects all go to ask questions, so definitely check that out. And of course, we have bootcamp comparison table, all these cool resources resources. We have that handbook, like I said, that we mentioned before, which will pretty much help you show the general process of applying for jobs and converting offers. And finally, we have a lot of BCS resources. So as a UBC BCS student and in the UBC BCS program, we do have dedicated BCS TAs to help you with courses. So 110, 121, 210, 213, these TAs are there to help you. So definitely make use of these resources and go to the office hours and ask questions, because some of this material is hard. You are doing a career transition, so sometimes it doesn't click and you need the extra push or guidance to help you make it click faster. All right, and I guess what else is there? Yeah, so incredible TAs, a lot of non-BCS resources as well, like NW Plus, which is the hackathon club at UBC. There are a lot of hackathons at UBC actually, so I highly recommend you join some hackathons. They're all free usually, so NW Plus ones at least are free. You can register, apply to be a hacker, and then basically what hackathon is, you go make a team of 3 or 4 people, and then you build some project based off a theme. So for example, social good, you build an app for social good, and it's a really good time learning opportunity where you can just spend a weekend to build something cool to show on your resume or learn something new or meet new people. So they also host a lot of workshops. I ran a few workshops for them a while back. You can find them all here in this all these links. We have a past UBC BCS alumni who was a TA and was amazing at writing notes, so he has a bunch of notes here on his website that you can find for 320. We have the YouTube, UBC BCS YouTube, for resume reviews and stuff, I believe. A lot of self-learning resources, YouTube channel, a bunch of stuff. So yeah, definitely make use of your resources. Of course, make use of your BCS TAs if you have questions. And yeah, I guess the next section we'll just go over some quick advice for success in the program. So for this last section, we'll be going over the keynotes for your first year. So these are pieces of advice that I would give my younger, maybe my first year self for UBC BCS and any perspective or people that just got accepted in the program, because it's really important to consider these. So first thing to do is, you might not know what you want to do in computer science, so definitely be open, have an open mind, approach it with more of an exploration aspect where you can see different career paths. So a lot of people do different internships like DevOps, software engineer, product management, a bunch of stuff, designer. It really depends on what you want to do. Software is not just about one thing, front end, back end, whatever, but there's full stack, mobile development, penetration testing, hacking, network engineer, embedded systems, machine learning engineer. There's a bunch of developer paths you can go and differentiate yourself with. So depending on your interests, you can choose which one you want to go. So just approach it with open mind. Next, make sure you use the resources. There's so many resources out there and tools to help simplify your life, like this UBC Course Explorer. Of course, you also need to start working on personal projects. You really don't have to work in the first year. I think you should, in the first semester, maybe in the second semester, you should consider thinking about personal projects, but at least in the first semester, if you are overwhelmed, make sure you take the time to adjust and be able to find your groove in being successful in the program. Another one would be, you can reach out to other BCSers or other students to build a project together. The number one thing about UBC BCS is the community. So reach out, don't be shy, and really put yourself out there, because there are really interesting folk in the program with a diverse number of backgrounds. So definitely you can learn something from that, and I think you should capitalize it. It is an advantage. 10 hackathons, of course, they are huge learning opportunities for you to be able to build something and network. Here are some links to join some. Definitely take the English Exemption exam, because it is, I think, definitely worth it. Don't buy any textbooks, everything is online. Self-learning is incredibly important. Software engineering is a continuous learning profession. So if you want to be successful, then you have to make make sure that you're always learning on the side. And then imposter syndrome is a huge one. Remember that you're on your same path. You are who you are. You are transitioning from a different field. It is new. It's hard. So whatever you do, comparison is a thief of joy. So really make sure you stick to your own timelines, your own goals, and don't lose focus and lose sight of that goal, which is for you transitioning to another degree, like getting computer science degree, right? Or like getting a profession in computer science or software engineer, etc. Don't fall behind. Make sure that you speak to professors or like TAs, make use of the resources. So that would be here too. Because if you fall behind, like computer science courses really are heavy, so stuff piles up a lot. Marks aren't that important, so depending on like what company you want to apply for, typically marks are not like the end all be all. So you should be okay if you don't have a top A+ grade everywhere. Form study groups, attend the BCS events, show your BCS executives some support. There are quite a few events that are held by the BCS executive team, and definitely last one would be get involved. Like you are in your second degree now, it is a new beginning, so get involved, put yourself out there, and contribute to the community. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for bearing with me reading through all these articles. But yeah, good luck with your degree, and feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching.